What's up, YouTube? It's Rose J here, representing Simple A Aesthetics. I'm back like I never left. Ironically, it's actually my first YouTube video, to be quite honest with you. But I want to do something a little different. My YouTube channel is all about empowering people, uplifting everyone, trying to inspire others. And instead of doing or taking the normal route of, starting with an arm video or a chest video, I thought we'd take it back to the basics and keep it simple. So I want to start with hamstring. So that's what we're going to train today. So let's go get it. All right, guys. This is the first of 4 exercises that we'll be performing today. Good mornings. To be quite honest, it's actually one of my favorite exercises. Why? Because it emphasizes a lot of important muscle groups. And in fact, out of the big 3, of course, bench press, squats, and deadlifts, I believe that this exercise comes right after in terms of the benefits that it has for the entire body. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later. So this exercise would fall under the hip extension hamstring movements, such as deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, and things of that nature. When performing this exercise, it's extremely important that your body is completely balanced throughout the movement. How do you do that? Make sure that your feet are, I'd say, a bit slightly wider than shoulder width and pointing outward just slightly. You don't want it too far outward, but just slightly. With your feet in that position, it gives your body a great foundation in terms of the balance when you're going to get ready to actually load the hamstrings, which is the portion where you're lowering the hamstrings. Now, on the positive, when you're actually lifting the weight up, you want to make sure that you're exploding through your heels, and I'd really like to emphasize that. When you're performing hamstring exercises, whether it's good mornings, stiff-legged deadlifts, and many other hamstring exercises, it's extremely important that you are driving the weight through your heels. When you drive through your heels, the entire momentum of the tension that you're actually lifting will be driven directly through your hamstrings and through your glutes. It's extremely important when performing this exercise and any other hamstring based exercises. So to recap, your feet are going to be slightly wider than shoulder width, pointed outward just ever so slightly. Once you have that balance there, you're going to take the negative of the bar and lower down with your back completely straight, and you're exploding up through your heels, exploding through your heels with your chest up and your face looking up through the movement. And that's how you perform a good morning, which is extremely beneficial for your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back, and even your spinal erectors. One of the most beneficial exercises, in my opinion, that you can do for your hamstrings, your glutes, and your hip extension movements. That's it for the first exercise. 10, 10, and 5 for the sets, and now on to the next. All right, now for the second of 4 exercises that we'll be performing today, the stiff-legged deadlift. This lift is literally one of the most beneficial exercises, as I stated earlier, with good mornings that one can perform in today's training sessions. Why? This exercise is a completely full body exercise. Yes, today's session is focusing on primarily the hamstrings, but this exercise here encompasses not just the hamstrings, but you will be working your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back, your traps, and even your forearms when performing this exercise. Just as we stated earlier with good mornings, with stiff-legged deadlifts, your form is everything. It's extremely important that you have proper form when performing this exercise. So what do I mean by that? If you notice, My feet are slightly wider than shoulder width, and they're slightly, just ever so slightly, pointed outward. Just as I stated earlier, that's simply to make sure that your foundation of your lower body is completely balanced when lowering the weight. Now, the movement of this exercise. You want to make sure that your back is completely straight, your chest is up, and your head is looking forward whenever you're performing a stiff-legged deadlift with your knees slightly bent. In other words, you can also think of this as an invert of the good mornings to a certain degree. Hand placement is up to you. I use mixed grip because that's how I started and that's how I feel more comfortable. The important thing is making sure that you're completing the full range of motion, going all the way down, making sure your legs are slightly bent and picking it up with the tension driving through your heels and squeeze of your glutes at the top of the movement. Alright, so this is the third of 4 exercises that we'll be performing today, and actually it's the only non-hip extension based hamstring exercise that we'll be performing on today's movements. Now, I know it seems pretty simple, lying hamstring curl, everybody does this. However, there is a trick to the trade to really get the most benefit out of this exercise. Now first, we have to think about the hamstring muscle in general. The hamstrings are actually made up of 3 muscles: the bicep femoris, the semitendinosus, and the semimembranous muscle, which are 3 separate muscles that comprise the hamstring as a whole. So when performing this exercise, it's extremely important to actually target all 3. So take a look at how I'm performing these lying leg curls. For the first 4, I have my feet pointed inward. For the second 4, I have my feet pointed outward. And for the last 4 of 12, I have my feet pointing straight forward to make sure I completely target every portion of the hamstring muscle, making sure that it's the full range of motion, going all the way down and bringing it all the way up, nearly touching my glutes. I want you guys to please give that a try and let me know how it works for you. Alright, last but definitely not least, because in my opinion, this is the king of booty development, ladies and men. Men, we need strong glutes, because without strong glutes, a lot of our lifts can't be performed as effectively as we'd like them to be. So, hip thrust. How to? This exercise is extremely important in terms of gaining overall strength and power throughout your lower body. Not only does it work your hamstrings, but obviously, as I stated before, it works your glutes and it works your hips. So that way, when you're squatting and you get down in that hole, you have a very strong foundation to actually drive up through those heels to get that strong squat up. Just like the previous 3 exercises, foot placement is extremely important. You want your feet slightly wider than your hips, pointed slightly outwards, and you want to have that balance with your upper back to make sure that you can drive the weight up through your heels, ensuring that you're able to squeeze your glutes at the peak position of the movement, which is the top portion. Make sure you don't sell yourself short and go halfway. It's extremely important to do this movement all the way through. And that's it, guys, for this first simple hamstring workout. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I really do appreciate you watching. I really do appreciate your support. But most of all, I'm really hoping you're able to benefit from the information I provided. Like I said previously, this channel is all about motivating, inspiring, and empowering others to help them reach their goals. And just like the video says, this is hamstrings part 1. There will be another one. However, it won't be consecutively. So if there's another video that you'd like to see in terms of another muscle group you'd like to see worked out, comment below and I'll be sure to see if I can get that to you. Lastly, this is Rose J signing out for Simple A Aesthetics. Stay humble, stay focused, and remember, keep it simple. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.